In his sleep, Denji dreams about a hidden door in a narrow pathway. When he wakes up, he goes to work. On his trip, he thinks about all the money he got for doing hard stuff like chopping down trees and even selling parts of his body. But he still has a lot of money to pay back. His pet, Pochita, starts to bark. This means there's a scary creature near them, which makes him happy. He gets paid well if he can defeat these creatures. Then, he sees a tomato monster, with Pochita's help, who can turn into a chainsaw. He beats the monster. The old man who gave him the job says he'll pay him a lot of money, more than he thought he would get. But after taking out some costs and extra charges, he only gets a little bit of money. The driver says he'll give him a little money if he eats his cigarette, and he does. But after the guy leaves, he spits it out. At home, while eating bread, he tells Pochita that some people put sweet stuff on their bread. But that's just a dream for them. He thinks he might never pay back all the money he owes, and he might not even find a girlfriend. He remembers standing at his dad's grave. The old man was upset because his dad left before he could pay all his money back. The old man told him he needs to get a lot of money by the next day, or he'll hurt him really bad. When the old man leaves, he sees a monster with a chainsaw. He feels so bad that he doesn't care if the monster hurts him. But then he notices that the monster is hurt and bleeding, so he offers to help by drinking the monster's blood. After drinking Pochita's blood, he tells Pochita that he needs to help him back. The next day, he fights another monster and gives it to the old man. He asks the old man if he can work for him, hunting monsters. He is so hungry that he can't sleep. He tells Pochita that he dreams of eating tasty bread with sweet jam, talking and playing with a girl, and then sleeping while they hunt. Suddenly, he starts to cough up blood. He tells Pochita that he heard his mom had a sickness in her heart that made her cough up blood too. The old man comes to get Denji because there's a monster hunting job for him. They go to an empty old building, but Denji can't find any monster there. The old man tells Denji he likes him because he works hard and doesn't ask for much, but he doesn't like the smell of him. Just then, a man with a big sword hurts Denji and Pochita from behind. The old man tells Denji that even tough people dream of having more power and money, so they made a deal with a monster. They wanted more power, and the monster wanted to hurt monster hunters. The zombie monster shows up and says that the tough people were silly to become his servants just for a little bit of power. His power can turn them into zombies. The zombie monster doesn't like monster hunters because they defeat other monsters, so he tells his zombie helpers to hurt Denji. Denji is very hurt and tries to run away, but the zombies catch him and hurt him even more. They chop him up and throw him into a big bin with Pochita. When some of Denji's blood gets in Pochita's mouth, Pochita wakes up. Pochita remembers the times he and Denji were chopping trees together. Denji once told him that if he dies while fighting a monster, he would be sad about leaving Pochita alone and hungry. He also worried that other monster hunters might hurt Pochita. Denji had heard that some monsters could live in dead bodies, so he asked Pochita to live in his body if something happened to him. He wanted to live a normal life and have a normal ending. In the big bin, Pochita joins with Denji, putting his chopped up pieces back together and making him better. When Denji wakes up, he wonders if Pochita is now living in his body. Pochita tells him that he loved hearing Denji talk about his dreams. So, Pochita decided to give him his heart, but in return, he wants Denji to make his dreams come true. Denji wakes up feeling better in the bin and sees Pochita's tail coming out of his chest. The zombie monster is surprised to see Denji alive and tells the zombies to eat him. Denji starts thinking that he might be like the tough people. He was happy with Pochita, but he always wanted more. If that's true, then he can't be mad at them. But if they stand in his way, he'll fight them. Denji pulls a cord from his chest when the zombies try to jump on him. After that, he changes shape and becomes like a chainsaw. He comes out from the zombies and starts chopping them up. He jumps on the zombie monster and starts cutting him. But the zombie monster pushes him back and throws zombies at him to keep him away. Denji keeps defeating the zombies and jumps back on the zombie monster, slicing him in two. Looking at the remaining zombies, Denji realizes they're monsters and it's his job to defeat them. He fights them all, saying that once he does, he won't owe the tough people any money. In the early morning, a car stops in front of the old building. A lady named Makima and two men go inside and see all the mess. Makima sees Denji and walks towards him, saying he smells different, not like a person or a monster, and guesses that he caused all the mess. Denji asks for a hug and Makima gives him one. He turns back into his normal self and Makima says that he's a person and not controlled by a monster. She tells him she came to defeat the zombie monster and that she's a monster hunter who works for public safety. She tells Denji he has two choices. She can treat him like a monster and hurt him, or she can keep him safe as a person. If he chooses to stay with her, she promises to give him food. When Denji asks what he'd get for breakfast, she tells him he'd get bread with butter and jam, salad, coffee, and maybe even a dessert. Denji thinks this sounds great, so he agrees. In the car, Denji's tummy makes a noise because he's hungry. Nakama tells him he's under her care now and she wants him to always say yes or woof. She doesn't need a pet that says no. Denji used to think Makima was nice, but now he finds her a bit scary because she treats him like a pet. Then Denji remembers Pochita and his tummy rumbles again. Makima suggests they stop at a rest stop for food. She says she'll pay and gives him a coat because he doesn't have a shirt. Denji is really happy because no one has ever been that nice to him. He thinks he might love Makima. At the rest stop, Denji orders noodles and sausage, while Makima orders curry noodles. But Denji starts to feel weak because he lost some blood from turning into a chainsaw. He falls onto Makima and says sorry, explaining why he feels weak. She asks him how he turned into a chainsaw, and Denji tells her about his pet monster replacing his heart. Makima tells Denji that his situation is very unusual, and it doesn't even have a name yet. But she believes him because she has a good nose for these things. She explains that his friend is still alive inside him, and that's why he smells like both a person and a monster. Denji is really happy about this, but he starts feeling weak again and falls asleep. When he wakes up, their noodle soup is ready. Makima asks if he can eat by himself. At first, Denji says yes, but then he changes his mind and says no. So Makima helps him eat his noodle soup. Then Denji asks Mak type of boys she likes. Makima tells him that she likes boys who are like Denji. Makima tells him that they've arrived at the headquarters for the monster hunters in Tokyo. As they walk into the building, Makima explains there are more than 1,000 monster hunters in Tokyo, including regular folks. She says working for public safety has the best perks and even paid time off. Denji starts to wonder if they will work together and maybe even be more than co-workers. Makima gives Denji a uniform and introduces him to another co-worker named Ed, who started 3 years ago. Denji will be working with Aki that day. Denji is surprised that he won't be working with Makima. Aki tells him it's normal, then tries to take Denji out to do their rounds. But Denji doesn't want to go, saying he wants to work with Makima. Makima comes over and tells Denji that if he does well, maybe they can work together someday. She even promises to help him tie his necktie. While on rounds with Aki, Denji asks if Makima has a boyfriend. Aki first ignores him, then takes him to a quiet alley and punches him. Aki hits Denji a few more times and tells him to quit. He warns Denji that if he shows up tomorrow, he'll beat him up again. Denji is confused and Aki tells him he's actually trying to be nice. He says people who take the job without thinking always end up in trouble. Aki knows people who became monster hunters just for money, and they didn't make it. He says only those with strong reasons can survive. Aki guesses that Denji took the job because of Makima, and Denji admits it's true. As Aki walks away, he says he'll tell Makima that Denji got scared and ran away from the monsters. Suddenly, Denji runs up to Aki and kicks him hard. Denji says Aki is a good guy because when he fights men, he aims for a painful spot. Then he kicks Aki again. Denji says today was the first time he ever had udon and sausage and was treated like a person. He may have taken the monster hunting job without thinking, but if he can keep this lifestyle, he doesn't mind if he gets into danger. Denji quickly adds that he cares about staying safe because his life isn't just his own anymore. He gets up and tries to fight Denji again. He says Denji shouldn't be chasing after someone like Makima, but Denji kicks Aki again, teasing him that he also likes Makima. Aki falls and notes that Denji always aims for the same spot. After their fight, they go to see Makima. Denji jokes that the nut devil attacked Aki, but Aki says that's not true. Makima asks if they can work together. They both say no, but Makima doesn't listen. She tells Denji that he'll be joining Aki's team. Aki doesn't want another troublemaker, but Makima reminds him that she had mentioned their team works differently from others. Aki wonders what's special about Denji, and Makima reveals that Denji can turn into a monster. He has heard rumors about this, but didn't think they were true. Makima tells them that Denji is special and will be treated differently. She warns that if Denji tries to quit or doesn't work, he'll be treated like a monster. Aki tells Denji that he'll be living with him so he can keep an eye on him. He also warns Denji that if he tries to run away, Aki has permission to stop him. Denji asks if Makima might be bad, but Aki says if he feels that way, he should stay away from her. Aki reminds Denji to be thankful that Makima didn't hurt him. But Denji also wonders if she might be good. Emiki agrees that she is because she saved Denji's life. The next morning, at Aki's house, Denji makes a big mess while making his breakfast with different kinds of jam. He continues to live without worrying about anything, which annoys Aki. One day, they go on a mission because there's a report of a monster called a fiend. Denji doesn't know what a fiend is, so he asks if he ever went to school. Denji says he did. Aki explains that a fiend is a monster that takes over a dead person's body. Denji wonders if he's a fiend, but Aki says no because fiends have different looking hats. They find the fiend and Aki tells Denji to use his monster powers to fight it. This way, Aki can see if Denji is helpful. The fiend gets mad and attacks them, but Denji quickly cuts off its head with an axe. Aki asks why Denji didn't use his monster powers, and Denji says that it would have made a big mess. He also wanted to make it as painless as possible for the fiend. Aki tells Denji that fiends are like bad monsters and he shouldn't feel sorry for them when he's hunting them. He shares that a monster killed his family in front of him, and that's why he takes his job very seriously. He asks Denji if he's trying to be friends with these monsters. Denji admits that he would like to be friends with a monster if he could, because he doesn't have any friends. Aki leaves, remembering what Denji said. When Denji is alone, he admits he didn't want to get the 18+ magazines on the floor messy with blood, which is why he didn't change into a monster. Denji feels like his dream of a good life has come true, but he feels like something's missing. As he thinks about what people usually dream about, he thinks about Makima. He then says out loud that he wants to touch her. He had forgotten about this dream, but now that he has a good life, he thinks it might be possible. He decides this is his new dream, to touch a woman. Later, when talking to Makima, she tells him she's giving him a new friend to work with. She explains that they work in pairs for patrols and smaller jobs. When Denji meets his new work friend, Makima tells him she's a fiend. Her name is Power. Denji is surprised. He didn't know a fiend could be a devil hunter, but when he sees her chest, he changes his mind and is happy to meet her. Makima says fiends usually need to be hunted, but Power is different and she's part of Aki's team. She tells them they have to do a good job or their special team could be cancelled, and they know what that would mean for them, because Power's horns could draw attention. Makima tells them to go places where there aren't many people. Power starts being difficult and slaps Denji. She wants him to find her something she can hunt because she craves for blood. Even though Power is being hard to work with, Denji doesn't mind because he likes her. But Denji and Power can't find any devils. Power thinks other devils might be scared of her because she used to be a devil herself. Suddenly, Power smells blood and she runs off. There's news of a sea cucumber devil nearby. Before anyone can do anything, Power jumps from a building, creates a hammer from her blood, and squishes the devil. It's a big, bloody mess. Power is very happy about killing the devil. A team comes to clean up Power's mess. Makima tells Power that she's caused trouble. If a devil hunter from public safety kills a devil before a normal hunter can, it's like stealing their job. Normally, Power would get in trouble for this. Makima tells Power she needs to think before she acts. She also tells Denji he needs to help control Power. Even though Power is good at using her blood, she gets too excited and might not be the best choice for a devil hunter. Power tries to blame Denji for making her kill the devil, but Denji says she's lying. Denji and Power start to argue about who's telling the truth. Makima tells them to stop, and Power quiets down right away. Makima wants them to get along and work well together. Soon after, Denji buys himself a drink, and Power finds a cat to pet. Denji is happy about getting a drink, but he worries that he'll have bigger problems if things keep going like this. With Power lying, things will be hard. Power says she only likes cats and she doesn't like people. She doesn't like devils either because one stole her pet cat, Meowly. She couldn't save Meowly before Makima caught her. She thinks Meowly might be dead, but she's not giving up. She says she'll do whatever it takes to get Meowly back, even if it means being nice to people. She doesn't think Denji can understand how much she cares about her cat. Denji says it's silly to do all that just for a cat. He says he'd do anything to touch a girl's chest, but if it was for a dog, he might understand. Power then says that if Denji helps her find Meowly, he can touch her chest. This makes Denji very excited and mad at the devil who took Meowly. As a devil hunter, he can't ignore that and promises to defeat that devil. After that, the Public Safety Division gives them permission for Power to go outside. As they go to find the devil, Power tells Denji that she knows where the devil is, but she can't fight it because the devil might use her cat Meowly to protect itself. Denji tells her that he used to have a pet named Pochita. He can't pet Pochita now, but Pochita is still with him in his heart. Power thinks that's silly. She says that just means Pochita is gone and Denji is just trying to make himself feel better. Denji decides not to fight with her about it, but he thinks they will never be friends. In the meantime, Makima is talking with some important people. They've heard that other countries are using devils in their armies. They hope that Japan will only have to fight devils in the future. They ask Makima how her team is doing. She says one person on her team is doing well and another person is very interesting. The important people remind her that her job is to train her team and use them for work. She can't get too close to them. Later, in a car, Bucky says he doesn't think Denji is interesting. He thinks Denji is gross. He doesn't understand why Makima likes Denji. Makima explains that all devils are born with names. The scarier the name, the stronger the devil is. So a coffee devil probably wouldn't be very strong because coffee isn't scary. Makima explains that a car devil would be pretty strong. This is because people can easily imagine getting hit by a car and getting hurt. This makes the car devil scary. She says that Denji can turn into a chainsaw devil, which she thinks is pretty interesting. But Iki isn't sure if Denji will be helpful. He says everyone in public safety has a real goal or a strong reason for doing what they did. Yet, Denji just wants to have a good life and even thinks he could be friends with devils. Meanwhile, Power and Denji get to the edge of the city. Power points at a house. She says the devil who took her cat Maui is him signed. As they walk towards the house, Denji hopes he won't have to turn into his chainsaw for. But Power thinks he's just joking. Denji remembers that the devil might use the cat to protect itself. He wonders if Power should be so close to the house because the devil could see her. Power says she was wrong before. Just then, they stop. Suddenly, Power makes a hammer out of blood. Denji tries to hit her with his axe, but she hits him first and he falls down. Power drags Denji into the house. Inside, a bad devil tells Power that he's been waiting for her. He thought she ran away. Power says it took her some time to get free. She's brought him a human, just like he wanted. The bad devil picks up Denji. He says since Denji is young, his blood will be full of energy. Denji starts to wake up and the bad devil shows him that he lost his arm. He had to hide because of it. Denji says he doesn't care, but the devil tells him that food isn't supposed to talk. He says that by drinking human blood, he can heal the wounds humans gave him. The bad devil lifts Denji up and squeezes him. Denji throws up some blood. The bad devil drinks it and heals his arm. But the blood doesn't taste good, so the bad devil wants to eat another human to get the bad taste out of his mouth. The bad devil's arm grows back. But the taste of Denji's blood was not good, so he decides he wants to eat a different human to get the bad taste out. The bad devil looks at the city. He doesn't like the smell of cigarettes, makeup, and perfume. Power reminds the bat devil that she brought a human, like they agreed. She asks him to give back Meowly, her cat. The bat devil remembers he promised that, but he's upset that she brought him yucky blood. Then he eats Meowly. Tower remembers when she first found Meowly. After she beat a bear, she found a little cat who was almost dead. She decided to name her Meowly. She planned to fatten Meowly up before eating her. Power took care of Meowly and waited for the day she could eat her. One day, while lying on a roof and listening to Meowly meow, she realized it was strange to hear a sound that wasn't screaming. Then, the Bat Devil showed up and took Meowly. The Bat Devil was hurt and needed blood. He said if Power wanted Meowly back, she had to bring him a human. Power sees the Bat Devil eat Meowly and tells Denji that now she knows how he felt when he lost his pet, Pochita. She says it's a really bad feeling. The Bat Devil then swallows Power too. He complains that she also tasted bad. He decides he needs to eat some children to get the better taste. The Bat Devil flies towards the city. He plans to eat some children first. Then, he'll eat some adults who've never had kids. For the main course, he'll have a big man. For dessert, a woman who's going to have a baby. Just then, he notices Denji hanging onto his wagon drinking his blood. Denji yells for the Bat Devil to give back what he's taken. The Bat Devil captures Denji and is surprised. Denji remembers a day when he woke up and couldn't find his pet, Pochita. He looked everywhere for Pochita and was scared a devil had eaten him. When Denji came home one day, he found Pochita, his pet, crying in a corner. Denji was so happy to see him that he quickly fell asleep hugging Pochita. Denji wonders how Power felt when she tried to sleep, knowing that the Bat Devil had taken her cat, Meowly. Suddenly, Denji pulls a cord on his chest and a chainsaw pops out of his head. The Bat Devil is shocked to discover that Denji is also a devil. He uses it to cut the Bat Devil's arms and free himself. Denji sees a woman and tells her to run away. Seeing this, the Bat Devil picks up a car with a person inside and throws it at Denji, curious to see if Denji will cut the car too. Denji catches the car. He then throws the car back at the Bat Devil, hitting him in the face. The Bat Devil then sends a powerful blast from his belt, pushing Denji away. The Bat Devil grabs the man from planning to eat him and recover, but he hears the sound of chainsaws in the smoke and wonders how Denji is still alive. Annoyed, Denji says he was waiting patiently, but he still couldn't do what he wanted. The Bat Devil gets scared and throws things at Denji, telling him to stay away, but Denji cuts his arm and then jumps up and kills the Bat Devil by slicing his stomach open. Meanwhile, Power is shown cutting up animals in the forest and drinking their blood. She spends time with Meowly and starts to care about her. When the Bat Devil captures Meowly and asks for a human in return, Power goes to the city without a second thought. Even though she doesn't understand why she's doing it, she thinks it's silly to save Meowly because she loves blood. But recently, she's realized that blood is warm and that feels nice. When Power wakes up, she's holding Meowly and Denji is holding her. They're surrounded by the insides of the Bat Devil. Power is confused about why Denji saved her when she tried to kill him earlier. Denji points at Power's chest, saying he wants to touch it. Power thinks this is silly, but she says sorry for tricking him. Because her cat, Meowly, is safe now, she lets Denji touch her. But suddenly, Denji's arm gets blowed off. A devil named the Leech Devil takes his arm and eats it. Power can't move and tells Denji to grab Meowly and run away. Denji tries to pull the cord on his chest to bring out his chainsaw, but only a little one comes out. He thinks he might not have enough blood for a big chainsaw. The Leech Devil thinks Denji killed her friend, the Bat Devil. She thinks Denji is cute, so she decides to let him go. But she still wants to kill Power and Meowly. Hearing this, Denji gets ready to fight, even if it means he might back. They start fighting and Denji tries to dodge her attacks. He manages to hit her once, but she just pushes him back. She says he seems too weak to have killed the Bat Devil. She tells him about a dream she had where she and the Bat Devil would kill all the humans. She thinks this is a romantic dream. Denji says he won't die until he gets to touch Power's chest. The Leech Devil thinks his dream is not good. Denji rushes at her and manages to cut her neck with his little chainsaw. He's angry that everyone makes fun of his dream and says their dreams are better. He gets even angrier and says they should have a contest to see whose dream is stronger. If he kills her, it means his dream is stronger. The Leech Devil makes fun of him, saying even his yelling is weak. Their fight gets more and more wild and Denji starts acting crazy. He tries to jump on her, but she sticks her tongue through his chest, which defeats him. Just as she's about to eat him, a man named Iki shows up. Iki uses a power called Khan to call the Fox Devil, who quickly eats the Leech Devil's head. The Fox Devil asks Iki if it's okay to eat the rest of the Leech Devil, and if he says yes. Iki then confirms the Leech Devil is gone and tells the new Devil Hunters with him to start searching for survivors and helping them. He asks his friend Hanno, who is older and more experienced, to keep an eye out for more devils. Denji wakes up in a hospital. Iki tells him that they found his lost arm and just needed to give it some blood to stick it back on. Denji notices that Iki and the Fox Devil seem to be buddies. Iki tells him that devil hunters make deals with devils to help them fight against other devils. Iki had to give some of his skin to the Fox Devil in return for its power. Denji tries to grab some apples that Iki is cutting up, but Iki pulls them away. Iki says that devils and fiends want to see humans die. Denji says that he thinks Power is cool. Iki tells them that they found them by watching videos from security cameras that led them to a house. This house is where they think the Bat Devil used to live. They found lots of Denji's blood there. Iki thinks Power tried to hurt Denji but doesn't understand why Denji is helping them. Denji pretends to not know what happened. Iki says that some people have been saying they want to thank the Chainsaw Devil for saving them. Iki warns Denji that if he keeps digging into this, he'll have to write a report that could get both Power and Denji in trouble. But Iki says that if Denji agrees to a special condition, he'll forget all about what happened. He pushes the apples towards Denji and says that if Denji listens to him, he can keep living his life as it is. While eating the apples, Denji says yes. He admits that he might not have big dreams like Iki, but Iki can trust him. Outside the hospital room, Power is waiting with Heimdall. As Iki leaves, Power says he should have made Denji say that she didn't do anything wrong. Heimdall warns Iki that if he lets Power go and she hurts someone, it will be Iki's fault. But if he lets Power go anyway, he says that they are devil hunters and if devils can help them, they will use those devils. Later, Iki visits a woman named Makima at their headquarters and tells her about what happened with Denji and Power. He says that while they were on duty, they wandered off and found a house with a devil in. Denji killed the Bat Devil, then the Leech Devil attacked Denji, but Division 4 killed the Leech Devil. They didn't find any flesh from the Dun Devil. Makima thanks Iki for telling her all this. She finds it strange that Denji and Power managed to go so far without anyone noticing. Iki says that it's okay because no one died and they got rid of 2 devils. Makima says that Iki seems more easygoing now and wonders if it's because of Denji. Iki says he hasn't changed. The next morning, Iki wakes up and washes himself. He makes a cup of coffee and goes to sit on his balcony. After a while, Denji wakes up and uses the bathroom. While Denji is having breakfast, Aki starts cleaning the house. Later, Aki makes curry for lunch. Suddenly, they hear loud banging on their door. When they open it, Power breaks the door and comes in. She says their place looks sad. Then Aki gets a call from Makima, who tells him that she wants Power to stay with him, just like Denji. Makima says that Power promised to be good. The three of them are about to have lunch, but Power doesn't like the vegetables on her plate and throws it away. Both Denji and Aki tell her off for wasting food and being rude. But Power doesn't care. She also clogs up the toilet because she doesn't like flushing every time and only likes taking a bath now and then. Both Denji and Aki complain about this, but Power just thinks they're being too fussy. Denji is trying to fix the toilet when Power points at her chest and makes a grabbing motion. She says she's keeping her promise and will let him touch her. She sits on the toilet and tells him he can squeeze 3 times. 1 for saving her cat, 1 for defeating the Bat Devil, and 1 for protecting her from Aki. She didn't want to let him at first, but she changed her mind. Denji thinks she's an angel. Power lets Denji touch her, but something feels weird and something falls out. It turns out that it's a pad she uses to make her chest look bigger. She lets him touch her 2 more times. After that, she brags about how nice it must have felt and leaves the bathroom. Denji is left shocked, wondering if that's all there is to it. The next day, Denji doesn't feel like eating and goes on patrol with Power, but he's not really focused and doesn't feel very motivated. Later at the office, he signs some papers that Makima gives him, but she notices that he's feeling sad and asks him what's bothering him. Denji tells her that he got what he always wanted, but it didn't make him as happy as he thought it would. He wonders if maybe he enjoys the journey to get something more than actually getting it. Makima asks him what he's talking about, and Denji tells her about touching a woman's chest for the first time and how it wasn't that excited. Makima holds his hand and says that maybe things like that feel better when you know the other person better. She tells him to pay attention to things like how their hand feels, how long their fingers are, if their hand is cold or warm, and what their ears look like. Then she bites his finger and asks if anyone has ever bitten him before. She tells him to remember how it feels. She says that even if he can't see, he'll be able to tell it's her by how hard she bites him. Makima puts Denji's hand on her heart. Denji gets surprised and falls over. Makima tells him she has a job for him. She wants him to defeat a monster called the Gun Devil. She says that this monster showed up in America 13 years ago, and no one knows where it is now. It's a very strong monster, and all monster hunters dream of beating it. Makima thinks Denji is special and that he could beat this monster. If he does, she'll grant him 1 wish. Denji gets excited because he could ask for anything he wants. Makima tells him that when monsters first appeared, people started using more guns. But this caused more fights and made people even more scared of guns. There was a big attack with guns in America, and that's when the Gun Devil appeared. At that time, Aki was a little boy and wanted to play a game with his dad. But his dad said no because Aki's brother Teo was sick. He asked Aki to play by himself. Teo decided he wanted to play with Aki anyway, so he went outside with him. Aki was annoyed with Teo and threw a snowball at him, telling him to go away. But Teo threw a snowball back at Aki, and they had a fun snowball fight. Teo's hands were getting very cold, so Aki told him to go back inside so he wouldn't get sick. Just after Teo went back inside, their house was destroyed. Makima tells Denji that the Gun Devil hurt 1.2 million people in just 5 minutes. After that, the Gun Devil disappeared. People became even more scared of monsters, and this made the monsters stronger. To keep the Gun Devil from getting stronger, a law was made that people couldn't have guns. Also, news stories about guns were limited. Denji thinks that if he tries his best, he could defeat the Gun Devil. Makima tells him their first job is to find the Gun Devil. She shows him some bullets and says they are pieces of the Gun Devil's body. When the devil moves fast, some parts of his body burn off. If a monster eats a piece, it gets stronger. The pieces stick together, and when they're big enough, they go back to the Gun Devil's body. The group gets a new mission. Someone saw a monster in a hotel. Some monster hunters tried to defeat it and didn't survive. The group thinks this monster might have eaten a piece of the Gun Devil. Denji and 5 other hunters are chosen to fight this monster. Aki holds a piece of the Gun Devil and can tell that the monster in the hotel ate a piece too. Denji thinks it might be the Gun Devil, but Aki says the reaction would be stronger if it was. One of the hunters named Hirokazu doesn't trust Denji and Power. Aki tells him he doesn't have to trust them. If they try to run away during the fight, the others can defeat them. Denji and Power wonder if Aki is mad because of a joke they played on him in the morning. But Aki gets even more mad and says it wasn't funny at all. Hymno, another friend, tells Iki to be nice to the kids. Denji agrees and says he's tired from a recent fight with a monster called the Bat Devil. He wants a prize. Hymno makes a deal. Whoever defeats the monster gets a kiss on the cheek from her. Denji gets excited, but then he remembers something Makima told him. He decides he doesn't want a kiss from Hymno because he doesn't know her well. He tells her this, and she makes a new deal. If he defeats the monster, she'll give him a French kiss. This makes Denji very excited, and he rushes into the hotel where the monster is. Another friend, Hirokazu, chases after Denji. He tells Denji that Hymno has been nice to him for a long time, and he wants the kiss from her. Power and another friend, Kobni, start arguing with Denji and Hirokazu. Aki wonders if the new kids will be okay. Hymno says Hirokazu isn't very strong, but he's determined, and Kobni isn't very brave, but she's powerful. Iki thinks they might quit or get hurt within a year. Hymno tells Iki to be careful and not get hurt. Then a flashback. We see Hymno meeting Iki for the first time at a graveyard. She's hurt, and a man named Kishibe introduces Iki as her new teammate. She asks Iki if he's any good, and he says he thinks so. Hymno tells him he's the sixth person to join her team, and all the others got hurt because they weren't good enough. She tells Iki again to be careful and not get hurt. Back in the present, the friends are searching the hotel for the monster. Hymno suddenly stops and tells Iki that the monster is coming. A strange creature with a head, hand, and foot jumps out at Kobni, but it freezes in midair, and Power is able to cut it in half with a sword made from her own blood. Power thinks she scared the monster, but Hymno says it was her power. She has a deal with a ghost devil and gave it one of her eyes so she could control its hand. The friends keep searching because this wasn't the monster they were looking for. Power wonders if it was smart for Hymno to tell her about her powers. Hymno says she's not worried because she has another trick up her sleeve. Power asks what would happen if Hymno hurt Kobe, and Hymno shows her by grabbing Power with the ghost devil's hand. Power tries to grab it back, but her hands go right through it. When they get to the next floor, Hirokazu sees a splash of blood that's just like one they saw earlier. He checks the floor number and realizes they're still on the same floor they were before. He tries to go downstairs, but the others see him coming from upstairs. The devil hunters notice that something is wrong. Hymno asks Kobni to make the peace sign and stay still. Hymno goes downstairs but comes out from upstairs again. He goes into a room that ends up back on the same floor, opposite to where he entered. Hymno says she has never seen a devil use such tricks before. Kobni cries because she had to choose between being a sex worker or a devil hunter to support her family. Power laughs at Kobni, which upsets her. Aki notices that all the clocks stopped at 8:18 and realizes the devil can control time on the 8th floor, so no one will save them. Denji is happy because he can sleep as much as he wants. Hymno wakes Denji up and tells him that they discovered the water and electricity still work. They hear something in the hallway and discover it's blocked by a monstrous blob made of flesh. The devil taunts them and wants to make a deal. It demands to eat Denji, promising to spare the others. Tomi comes out with a knife and tells Denji to let the devil eat him. Becky disarms her, and Hymno knocks her down. He tries to summon the fox devil, but it doesn't work. He realizes they are cut off from the outside world. Hymno uses her dose devil power to attack the devil, but it only makes it bigger. The floor suddenly turns 90 degrees, and Kobni tries to stab him, but Iki protects Denji by getting stabbed instead. He says he doesn't care if Denji gets killed, but Denji wants to kill the gun devil too. Denji feels annoyed that Iki sacrificed himself and promises to settle things once they are out. Denji pulls his cord and jumps down to face the Eternity Devil.